How can one document the lives of people in a truthful way? How much respect does any person deserve when documented by a stranger with a camera? I'm a stranger with a film camera shooting a documentary for European network Arte Television. I follow American photographer Shelby Lee Adams to his various locations. We visit his subjects in the Appalachian Mountains. Shelby grew up in this region. He is an insider. He has been photographing many of his subjects for more than 20 years, here in southeast Kentucky. My film crew is small. It's just myself and the sound man. I shoot with 3 different cameras, 16mm and Super 8 film, and some additional footage with a video camera. There's so much inside the film frame that one can see, and there's so much outside the frame that remains unseen. The viewer will have questions about my decisions of what I put inside the frame and what was kept outside when I edited the material. I observe everything with a foreign eye, but I also see everything through the lens of the photographer I'm following. I look at his series of meticulously composed black and white images. His choices and what he kept in his frame are for the most part influencing my inquiry. Shelby is my tour guide in a region I've never seen before, but we each use different tools. His camera takes black and white still images, he works with a tripod. I record moving and colorful images. I move with my cameras and also record sound. I have a strong vision for what I want to achieve with this film, and I ask the viewer to kindly consider it. We are in Burley Childers' house. The photographer arranged a visit for us. Burley's daughter and her family are also in the house. Burley's 3 adopted children from a previous marriage are in the living room. Homer, Selena and James need constant care. It is a difficult situation. I can tell that Burley is under a lot of pressure as he takes care of the 3 disabled children around the clock. Prior to our visit, he has made lunch, a large pot of macaroni and cheese, for Homer, Selena and James. It is the middle of August. By now it is about 98 degrees in the house. It is sticky. The air doesn't move. This is my second visit to the house. We arranged to shoot in the living room. We have not arranged for anything special. Everyone in the room is doing whatever they feel like doing. It's quite loud in the house. The TV set has been running constantly since we arrived. My sound man Willie records what he can catch with his microphone. I film what happens in the room. The photographer Shelby Lee Adams has become quite famous for the images of his Appalachian people. Not everyone in the art world agrees with his vision. Some of the curators, writers, and museum directors in faraway cities find his imagery manipulated and controversial. They speak of artfully arranged hillbilly portraits in black and white. Shelby and I talk about the subject of documenting people. Why does he have access? Why do his subjects trust him? What do they know about photography and about the publishing of these images? Shelby says he gained access because he is from this community. His uncle, the country doctor, had introduced him to many subjects. That is how he built rapport, by being introduced, by returning every summer, and by always bringing back photographs to his subjects. Shelby speaks about his own personal issues he tries to work out, and he is eager to communicate through his photographs. Above all, he says, his images are not documentary photographs of the people in the mountains. He sees his images as fine art photographs, telling the view of Shelby's personal struggles and painful events in the past. Shelby claims that his subjects stand in the frame, acting out Shelby's own personal story. Most of us believe what we see. A man is holding a knife in a childless family portrait, and a young innocent girl is wearing suggestive clothing while playing with her siblings and being photographed by Shelby. Shelby has directed, shot, and edited his images. His selection becomes a statement about his subjects. But he also has moved and removed objects and clothing within his frames. He manipulates the scene. The question remains, what are we really looking at? Many image makers have come through this region in Kentucky over time. Shelby invited another foreign filmmaker to portray him and his subjects in the same locations shortly after I had shot my film. About 2 years later, another local production company produced one more film for public TV. This documentary focuses on the issue of the media swarming the Appalachian Mountains. The filmmaker Elizabeth Barrett portrays the region as being inundated with picture takers. For a long time, the people in Appalachia and the community here have encountered struggles. It is the national story of coal mining and exploitation, the story of poverty and all that what comes with it. Elizabeth Barrett laid out how the community reacted to some of the image makers coming to the region. Some locals perceived these media people as Marxist and Yankee filmmakers who were being financed by public grants and US tax money. The local resentment is that many media people supposedly only shoot what impresses them, but not the truth. Barrett concludes her documentary with expressing a feeling of shame. Many people, she reports, didn't want the rest of the world to perceive the members of her local community as hillbillies who live ignorant, backwards, and poor lives. What must any part of the world have in order to be a good home for a man? What does any person need in order to live in comfort? Carpenter writes, everyone needs food, clothing, and shelter. The lives of most men on the earth are spent in getting these things. In our travels we shall wish to learn what our world brothers and sisters eat and where their food comes from. We shall wish to see the houses they dwell in and how they are built. We shall also wish to know what clothing they use to protect themselves from the heat and the cold. How can one write about reality? Author James Agee refers to Carpenter's text in his book Let Us Now Praise Famous Men. Agee is unsure how to write about what he saw when documenting poor sharecroppers and their daily lives during the 1930s. If I could do it, I'd do no writing at all here. It would be photographs. The rest would be fragments of cloth, bits of cotton, lumps of earth, records of speech, pieces of wood and iron, files of odors, plates of food, and of excrement. Booksellers would consider it quite a novelty. Critics would murmur, yes, but is it art? As it is, though, I'll do what little I can in writing.
Honey, I'm here to tell you there ain't but one church. Hallelujah. I don't know what name you got. It's a prayer in Jesus' name. Honey, but I'm here to tell you, it's not the name that you got over the door. Do you hear me tonight? I said it's not the name.
I have considered my role as outsider and filmmaker. I'm certain one does not have to be part of a community to be able to make a truthful film about it. One should possess a compassionate and well-informed view and report fairly what one sees and hears. As a responsible and compassionate filmmaker, I should inform the community and the audience that it is impossible to give an entirely balanced account. My film can only deliver fragments of imagery, bits of sound, and edited text. The voices of many insiders and outsiders should be heard, recorded, and considered. In the end, it is important for me to give my subjects freedom in front of the camera so that we can see them, hear them, and respectfully listen to them. What counts for myself above all when shooting these images and documenting people is the humanity of the moment.